Well, it's summer of 1719. This is video 84. Do apologise for getting the other two videos mixed up, but one of them really struggled to upload, so if they're in the wrong order, please watch out for that. We're just concentrating on what I was doing there. These are the troops that we're bringing down from Paris over to Marseille. These are the troops that we've already got in Marseille. Still got that old pikeman in there from when the game originally started, if you remember. Almost 20 years ago now, so that's nearly 40 turns, I suppose. Quick look round again for the Spanish to see if they've got any army that's on its way towards me. If you remember, it came up and then went back again, so I don't quite know what's going on. Just looking at how reliant we are on trade. Seeing what the income is, because I want to know what to do with this fleet as well. While those troops are moving down to Marseille, I'm wondering where we can go with this fleet. I can't see anything that I can easily pick off, so I'm thinking about defending our homelands again. We've got a fair amount of money in the pot there, over 7,000 in the pot there, so we're thinking that maybe the fleet has done enough work to get us through the consolidation period of France. If you remember, we've defeated the rebels in previous videos, and France has become much more settled. We've built Protestant churches in there. We're now going to have to upgrade those Protestant churches and improve the pleasure gardens that are over there as well. Have a quick look on there. So we've got two lots of cavalry and a couple of infantry. What I have to be careful of course, is not to leave Paris itself too vulnerable. Then, of course, we've got the other European capitals I need to look after as well, like Alsace-Lorraine, that are very close to Württemberg, and Westphalia still has a very large army sitting there. Denmark are friends of mine. Can't remember, they're not allies. They're just friends, I think. So they won't be raiding my trade route there. They'll be raiding someone else's. I think they're still at war with Sweden. I once checked on them and they were blockading one of their ports. So okay, so what we do with this fleet again. I'm just looking around, by the way. I just want to see, sort of what's around, how far we can reach with the troops from Paris. If an attack was made against any of these buildings. So if I move my fleet up onto the English Channel, it could then leave that port on the northwest of France really quite vulnerable. If you remember, I took my pikemen out of it, and I took my horsemen from lower down in France. I've moved it all over to Marseille to defend that. There's only so many resources that I've got. I'm just checking as well on the technology rate as well. See where we're up to in terms of the buildings. You might remember I do like to have howitzers rather than cannons. I think they're much more handy for firing over your own men. Quick look around now the Americas. What I'm looking for is the resources that we've got available and resources that we can make for the future. How we can tax certain areas. See, because the wealth that we've got at the moment has very much been made by our fleet going out and attacking other fleets and bringing back prize money. That isn't going to last forever. Trade also is not something that you can rely on. It's something that can be blocked at any time. You'll notice when we looked at the trade screen earlier, there were some red flashing lines along there. That's where we're being raided. We can't take our fleet away. It's just not safe enough to go wandering the high seas to attack everybody that's raiding our trade routes all over the place. So that's really not feasible for us. So I do need to look at where I can raise money. We've got Mexico and we've got Guatemala, of course. Guatemala should be coming into raising some money soon. The other areas in the Americas, although they're objectives for the Dutch, and they needed to be taken until Spain got too powerful, but they're not great money spinners, I'm afraid. I'm moving my fleet there over to, well, I'm just moving it around, hoping that something will pop up that we can attack, of course. But I'm moving it back towards Mexico. That's where my troops are. I'm going to need the troops that are in Mexico. Right. This is a quick way, by pressing the arrows on the top there when you're on a screen, and it will take you through all the other towns and cities with similar screens. With the same screen for each city. balancing act, you see. Where do we go? Do I build a fort somewhere to prevent him from attacking Marseille directly? It's very difficult. We've got Savoy, who are not extremely friendly. I've tried to enter diplomatic relations with them, and they want unlimited access to my territories. Well, the last thing I want is Savoyards wandering around the middle of France, you know. So I think I'll just keep them out. It's a bit too risky having them there. Okay, so we're upgrading the church buildings that we built. Do you remember we destroyed his Catholic church? We destroyed his university as well. They're all things that wouldn't help us, of course. I'm now building churches. We're now upgrading those churches as well. We need to get the population up to Protestant as soon as we can and start producing some missionaries. That, of course, will help us settle the population even more, and then I can generally raise the taxes throughout Europe again. This is the place, remember Ceylon, where I've felt most comfortable recently, since we've got a decent garrison in there, and we've got fortifications around it. I feel a little bit more secure about putting buildings in there. Raising a brig there as well. Not my favourite ship anymore, but there are quite a lot of Maratha boats around that you see on the turn end. I usually skip those because it's not particularly relevant. You can see the income that we're due to get next year. So it's not brilliant. I need to get some sustainable buildings in now, some sustainable wealth. Once France is a bit more settled, I should then be able to improve the industrial buildings that are in there as well. If I were to do that at the moment, unfortunately, it would add minuses to my occupation factor within Paris, so it's just not worth me doing that at the moment. Now, obviously they're very costly as well. Okay, we've had the British, we're going through the Austrians now, and now the oh, there it goes again. It looks bigger than last time as well. Still a ragged flag, which means that it's not full of fresh units. They seem to be coming up through the centre there. Speed on through the other countries till we get to another relevant one, because here come the Swedes. Now the Swedes are attacking Denmark. As I said, they are enemies, an easy target. And also they see my trading port as an easy target as well. Now this is why really I wanted to be in the English Channel, to defend it. So that's going to cut our trade and throw us into bankruptcy if we're not careful. So I definitely need my ships back there to do something about that. Okay, this is the turn end now. We're approaching the, well, this is now the winter of 1719. I'm just putting my gentleman that was raised, if you like, in Paris, moving him over to the school that I've got in Amsterdam, so it speeds up the research rate. Fortunately, it's not there yet. Unfortunately, that's stealing research, flying shuttle, and we've got the first European census. And the Gaza's 1837 or thereabouts. So this census is certainly well in advance of the British one. Okay, well, our replenished fleet that seemed to have nothing to do has now got a target in its own English Channel. Gosh, what a meagre target it is as well. What we've got there is 2 6-rates and a 4th rate. 4th rate's down to 24 guns. One of the 6-rates has got 17, the other one's got 6. Very poor. One of them's got 17 men on the ship. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this is the equivalent of Swedes on a plate, I'm afraid, cooked and ready to serve. These are just going to get murdered. Going to be interesting how to tackle these guys, because I don't know how much hull damage they've got, and I don't want to be blowing them out of the water. I do want that prize money though, especially since they took all my income away for this turn, so they're going to pay for that, I'm afraid. Double rum ration for anybody that captures a ship, me lads. The battle will have to be on the next video though, I'm afraid. This is just the setup.